when they really have options.
The movie's a thriller. She's home alone, but she knows there's a killer out there somewhere. So what does she do? They'll do it every time. She goes and stands right in front of the window.
Hey, Diz, it's Mark Gerchik.
That's right. The arm comes right through the window, and it does that every time an endangered heroine stands in front of a window in the movies. It's an example of the sort of thing a veteran movie lover gets a little tired of, but like I said, they'll do it every time. And on this special edition of Siskel and Ebert, we're going to be plowing through 8 of our favorite categories of things a movie critic gets tired of hearing and seeing. I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And if you're really a movie fan, you know that it's the window panes that are the specialty, because that's exactly what a hand can go through rather than a large one where you might get a lot of glass falling down.
That's right, those little panes.
Those little panes cause us big pains. I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune. The subject is movie cliches, those often repeated hackneyed stories, conventions, and gimmicks that drive us crazy. Sometimes, I admit, with delight, sometimes with frustration. I'm sure you have your own examples. On this program, we have 8 of ours, and we're going to give you some of these code words that Roger and I, if the movie's really bad, on occasion, we know we shouldn't do this, but on occasion, we'll yell it out because we see it coming. Things like the talking killer, the fruit cart, don't get in that car, the hero stumbles, and one of our favorites, the product placement. Just my hand there, no box of Tide in there.
Gee, and I don't have my favorite brand of Diet Pop here either. I don't know why I forgot it. Now we're going to start with one of the most reliable cliches in the history of the movies, the overturned fruit cart. We call it a fruit cart. It's sometimes a flower stand, or maybe they're selling vegetables or some kind of canned goods, but you've seen it before and you'll see it again. The high-speed chase scene in an exotic foreign locale, and the lead car inevitably knocks over a fruit cart or a flower cart or a fruit stand, and then it speeds off down the road while the angry fruit seller shakes his fist in the air with his hapless melons at his feet. Gene and I sometimes sit in the movies and we say fruit cart to ourselves every time we see a guy put the key in the ignition of his car. We see these situations developing. And how often do they happen? It sometimes seems like at least once for every chase scene.
Oh!
And here's Rick Springfield in Hard to Hold. It's the middle of the night, but those street vendors, they work long hours. And now here's Chuck Norris in the Delta Force, a fruit cart classic. And that's the ultimate fruit cart scene for a true connoisseur when they have the melons, big melons. Lots better than strawberries and peaches.
But the best part is, that one was in slow motion.
Slow motion.
Oh, I love that. I hadn't seen that before. I am waiting for the day when it's a James Bond film, and he's tearing down the street, and there's a fruit cart. It's all set up, and the fruit cart guy pulls it away. Said, not this time. If they ever did that, I'd give that movie 4 stars, and I'd go crazy.
And then the guy pushes the cart out on the street again, and the chase vehicle knocks it over.
No, that they would do. If they would just leave a fruit cart standing in one of these films, I'd love it. Now, one of the classic things in a horror film is when the lead characters do absolutely the very thing they should not do. If a dog barks, they pay no attention. We all know that dogs are smarter than people in horror films. Yes. They're always barking ahead of the people. Here are some more examples. People sticking their hands into places where they shouldn't. This man is in a voodoo movie. Now, that woman there in the veil, she's not nice. He ought to know that. What's he going to do? He should leave. No, you know what he's going to do. He's going to lift that veil. That's right. There's some noises on that shelf. Sure. Go ahead, stick your hand in there, buddy. And now one of the Friday the 13th movies, something they do in all of the Friday the 13th movies. A young woman walks unescorted back to her cabin. Why should she care? Why should she need a bodyguard? After all, only about 20 people die in each one of these movies. And here's that familiar horror film rhythm. She's scared. Then she relaxes. That means it's whammo time. Isn't that amazing? She's attacked. Now, Roger, some people might saying to us, oh, you guys don't understand the nature of horror films. People are sitting there, the filmmaker wants to have people saying, no, 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 don't do this, don't do this. And what I'm saying is this, I recognize that's an element of horror, but try and do it in a surprising way. Not in a way that's so common.
Absolutely, absolutely. The amazing thing to me about the Friday the 13th movies is that nobody in any of these movies ever seems to go to the movies. For example, all the teenagers in Part 6 are teenagers. Haven't they seen Parts 1 through 5? When they get to this camp, don't they say, hey, wait a minute, my parents have sent me to the same camp where Jason has killed 175 people in the last 5 movies I saw. Right. There's never any history.
Exactly.
They always forget. Just like in Jaws, they forget about the shark.
Right.
In this one, they always forget that Jason is out there in the woods.
If I just wait for a movie where the dog barks and someone says, my dog's barking, I'm getting out of here, I'm moving to the next state.
That's right, I'm going to go into town and find a room at the Holiday Inn. When we come back, the kids are smart, but the parents are always, oh, so stupid.
Missy, when are you going to get your butt in gear and get me a grandchild?
Continuing now our litany of inevitable movie cliches, they'll do it every time. One of the most annoying conventions is that of the stupid parent, dumber than the child. This is done, of course, to play up to the attitudes of the kids in the audience, an audience the size of which happens to be shrinking lately. Fewer kids are going to the movies, more adults are going, so maybe this cliche one day will disappear. I hope so. However, it continues, and one of the great offenders is writer-director John Hughes. In John Hughes' Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Matthew Broderick's parents are so foolish, they can't tell that he's fooling them.
Honey, feel his hands. They're cold and clammy.
I'm fine. I get up.
No.
I have a test today.
No.
Molly Ringwald has dumb parents in the movie For Keeps. She's pregnant, but her parents can't handle it. They're angry, more stupid than angry. That's the problem.
Honey, promise me you're not going to have this baby. Right now, the whole world is your oyster.
Oh, yeah? What about my son's oysters, huh? He's got this brilliant career ahead of him, designing schools and churches and...
Darcy and I are going to Paris next summer.
Look, if we could all just discuss...
We're trying to decide your future here!
Why don't we just keep it?
Go up! You had a gerbil last year. You forgot to feed it. It died.
And here's a really dumb parent. Richard Mazier is so angry at his son, he doesn't notice that his wife is in labor.
You had a TV, a stereo, a baseball mitt, a tennis racket, a skateboard, a bicycle, all gone. And you even had sunlight and a window in your room. Run it! Let me tell you something, buddy boy. You are damn lucky your mother didn't go into labor tonight.
I am in labor.
Damn lucky. What?
And of course, wouldn't it be more interesting if the parents were brighter? Because that would make the kids brighter, which would make the whole level of the film that much more exciting.
You know, there's another whole category of stupid movie parents, and those are the parents that go away on a long vacation and leave their 16-year-old adolescent son in the care of Sylvia Crystal or Sybil Danning.
Yeah, bombshells.
You know, now, this is your French tutor. Now, you be very nice to her while we're away, you know, and then immediately you get the big swimming pool scene with the bikini and so forth. Those parents don't seem to catch on too quickly. Let's move on to the next thing they'll do every time, and this is the category of scene that can perhaps best be described as the talking killer. You know the situation. The hero is cornered. There's no way out. None. No escape, no exit. All the bad guy has to do is pull the trigger and the movie's over. But no. First, the killer has to talk. He has to brag. He has to boast. He has to tell all of his plans and give away all of his secrets, and that provides just enough time for the hero to escape or to be rescued.
Sam, you tried to set me up. You're not gonna get away with that.
Stop!
Nobody in this town even knows who I am, Sam. All I have to do is leave.
We're having fun now!
They'll do it every time. The killer in Stakeout gets his quarry cornered, and then he hesitates instead of acting.
I hope you believe in reincarnation, sucker!
I said I'll take care of this. Now, it doesn't involve you. Now, go on home. I'll call you tomorrow.
What, long distance? Couldn't happen over here you say something about South American extradition?
Jerry.
Alan, you're not planning on taking that $800,000 I staked you with for the next load, are you?
Oh, looks like you two have a lot to talk over. We'll just catch the last 10 minutes of Dynasty.
Jerry, come on now. You're gonna have to trust me. I got a foolproof way to get rid of this ass, and you are jeopardizing everything.
Your foolproof way is gonna land my butt on the front page while you're basking in the sun.
With your money.
And that killer talked so long, the other killer came in and killed him. Unfortunately, we don't have time to show the second killer talking too long, too. Coming up next, maybe the most aggravating movie gimmick of them all, the product placement, the movie as a hidden commercial. Called They'll Do It Every Time. This is a show about things movie critics get tired of seeing in the movies, and maybe movie fans do too.
I think so.
Our next category is the one I like to call the hero stumbles. Now, this scene is almost obligatory at any kind of race movie: car race, foot race, bicycle race, pogo stick race. It's not enough for the hero to win the race. No, sir. He has to fall at some point and then pick himself up, usually in agonizing slow motion, and then he runs like the wind so he can win the race. In real life, of course, it's just about impossible to win a race after a fall, especially a bicycle race, but not in the movies.
Run with it! Come on, keep going! Pick it up!
Can he do that? I don't know.
That's it, run! Good, Dave! Come on! Come on, Dave, a little more! Good, good! Come on, David! Yes!
And in a remarkable finish, David Summers crosses the line 48, but carrying his bicycle.
And of course, no fight movie, no Rocky movie, no other fight movie is ever complete without the hero being beaten almost senseless before he pulls himself up and wins that fight.
Didn't you up there?
Rocky Balboa has taken Ivan Drago's best punches so far. He's cut and he's bleeding, but he's on his feet. He's on the line.
And I always love the foot races where the guy falls absolutely flat on his face, gets up, the other guys are going around the turn.
Right.
It's a mile race. You can't win a mile race when you've lost 40, 50, 60, 100 yards. But they always do.
I would like to see, you know, remember Mad Magazine? They would say, scenes we'd like to see.
Yeah.
We're talking about scenes we've seen too much and scenes that we'd like to see differently. For example, I'd like to see Rocky in his next scene, in his next movie, come out, flatten the guy with one punch, end it.
The movie's over. Or the guy falls down, gets up, runs like the wind,
And finishes
last.
Anything.
Last.
Okay, last is good enough with me. Anything but first. Now, here comes another category that really frosts us, the product placement. You would think that movies by now could make enough money with videos and cables and selling little dolls in toy stores that they wouldn't need to resort to commercials within the film to make extra money. But they do charge manufacturers for the practice of displaying their products in the hands and homes of glamorous movie stars. You'll see cans of soda, boxes of cereal, the labels always right there in your face. beer signs in bars, supermarket shelves filled with all of the products from the same company. The worst offender, the James Bond films. So successful, you wouldn't think they, of all other films, would need extra cash. Here's a love scene in Moonraker with Roger Moore and Lois Childs. It's actually a tender moment, but here comes product interruptus. Roger Moore will open a drawer just so we can see Air France tickets and Marlboro cigarettes.
Where are you planning on going from here?
I'm not planning on going anywhere.
And here's a donut box right in your face. Not once, not twice, 3 times.
Well, we're not exactly talking brain surgery here.
No, of course not. I faint at the sight of blood.
Showtime, folks.
Here's a mystery. Why would a cola company want to see one of its trucks destroyed? Is that going to make me buy more of the cola? Blatant plugs like this don't make me want to buy the product. They make me not want to buy the product. You know, I don't remember, Roger, what airline Humphrey Bogart was taking off on in Casablanca. Do you remember those tickets being displayed?
No, and you know, I don't remember any of the Budweiser signs in Rick's place either.
No, it would look a whole different. Miller Lite would be all over. Spuds McKenzie be running right through Dooley Wilson's piano.
That's right, and sometimes it destroys the whole dramatic moment. For example, in Leonard Part 6, Bill Cosby is told by his daughter that she wants to marry a man 45 years older than she is.
Right.
What does Cosby do? Goes to the kitchen, makes a sandwich, gets one of the large-sized bottles of Coke, and holds it right next to his face while he tells his daughter whether she can do that or not.
And then he turns it both ways, so you see the Coke in one kind of script and then the Coca-Cola in the other kind of
You
script.
don't want to miss that wavy line. When we come back, we'll look at those scenes where you know that something's wrong, but you can't always figure out exactly what it is.
What do we do? Wait!
Now concluding our rundown of movie cliches that often have us screaming at the screen and privately laughing at the same time, my personal favorite is the one where the girl, usually it's a young woman, enters a deserted parking lot at night and gets into her car, never looking into the back seat, even though it has been previously suggested that she is in some danger. You just know what's going to happen next, even when it's to Farrah Fawcett, a smart woman. I usually start a silent countdown like this: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Scream and you die. Understand?
Standing in front of a car window is no guarantee of safety either. One tip-off in these scenes is the inevitable long pause. Why wait to start the car? Unless you're waiting to get attacked. Again, a scene we'd like to see, someone saying, you know, I'm not going in my car. I think there might be somebody in there. I'm going to take a taxi home.
You know,
And then I would love to see that frustrated killer just
That's right, that's right. Here I am in the back seat and nothing
no one to
do.
kill.
Right. You know, the fallacy of the back seat is kind of related to the fallacy of the hand through the window.
Right.
And the tip-off is always when you get the close-up of the would-be victim with a lot of empty, undefined dark space in the background.
Of course.
You know the killer's there.
So it really doesn't work as a surprise. This is bad movie making, not just a cliche.
That's right. It works as a surprise if they're in a two-seater car. And now to our final category, which is known in Hollywood as the problem of continuity errors. That means that one shot doesn't match the next one. For example, the hero may be smoking, and then he's not smoking, and then he's smoking again. Or there's a glass of water on the table from one point of view, but when they cut to another angle, the glass is gone. Those are little continuity errors, but we have spotted some big ones in recent movies, and this one, in Jaws 4, The Revenge, is the biggest. Watch this. The plane crash lands in the water. 2 other people are able to swim to safety, but Michael Caine is still on the plane, and Jaws has it. Okay, later in the movie, a little bit later, we're on the boat, but here comes Michael Caine.
Okay! How the hell you do that, man? It wasn't easy, believe me.
And what do you know? His shirt is dry.
Bloody hell. Okay, get us started. Double the breath on that thing.
Continuity errors even happened to an Academy Award winner like Sean Connery, The Untouchables. Notice his collar button there? It was buttoned.
I'm such a good cop. How come I'm walking the beat then at my age?
What do you want to tell me?
Well, maybe I'm that whore with a heart of gold.
And now it's not Button.
Now, is that what you want to
I
hear?
didn't ask you, and I don't care. You want to stay on the beat? You do that. If you'd like to come with me, I need your help. I'm asking you for help.
And now it's Buttoned again. The case of the mysterious collar button. They'll do it every time.
But of all of the things that we mentioned, Roger, continuity errors are the ones that don't bother me as much because they occur in classic movies, and no one is doing that intentionally. It's the intentional stuff, the product placement, the talking killer, just because they want to stagger out the suspense in a stupid way. Stupid parents, women walking into cars.
Yeah, but you know, Gene, sometimes if the movie is bad enough, I even enjoy things like that because it gives me something to think about. You know, if I'm sitting through one more interminable chase scene, all I can hope for is that I'm going to see those melons rolling in the street, that fruit cart.
Yes, and sometimes slow-motion melons. That's the real kick of this field that we're in. That's it for our look at movie cliches. Next week, we'll be back with reviews of 5 new movies, including Field of Dreams, a baseball fable starring Kevin Costner, and Winter People, a romantic melodrama starring Kelly McGillis and Kurt Russell. Until then, here's our cliche: the balcony is closed.
Nestle Crunch. It's creamy milk chocolate and crispy crunchies. Chocolate is scrunchious when it crunches. That's why you'll love Nestle Crunch. After work or after workout, Daisy Turbo Spa combines powerful water massage and tingling aeration to turn your tub into a personal whirlpool. Pledge. With Pledge, dusting can be beautiful. Now available in Spring Fresh scent. Sinutab Allergy Formula for frequent allergy sufferers. Sinutab Allergy Formula works for 12 full hours to help stop all your allergy symptoms.